This video is not intended for viewers under the age of 13. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Memo here. Thank you for joining me. Today I got a surprise when I went out and checked the mail, and it looks like Target shipped me G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Island Barbecue earlier than expected. So that was a pleasant surprise. Let's take a look at it. As you can see, we have barbecue in his package. Pretty standard. Gabriel Barbecue Kelly is the official name on the bottom. There is the artwork on the side. Nicely done. Cobra Island map on the back. And there are the specs on the side. He is number 32. So let's get him out of the package and see what he has in store for us. Alright, now that we have him out of there, let's take a look at his accessories. First thing we have is his extinguisher pack, which actually brings back some memories. If you look closely, they've actually painted on the different classifications of fire. A, B, C, and D, which is pretty neat. Nicely sculpted and painted. You can see all the detail there. There's the peg for his hose and actual axe storage here in the back, which is really nice. Now, one disappointment is the peg is actually going at an upward angle, which I'll address later, but it does look decent. He comes with his fire extinguisher gun. Has a connection on the back, nothing too fancy, but it does have some nicely sculpted detail there. Kind of looks like a silenced pistol, doesn't it? But anyhow, you get two axes, both of them done in black plastic with silver accents. This one actually has some brass knuckles on the front, and then a nicely painted blade. Looks good. And then the longer axe also has a silver blade. Not much as far as detail, but there is some. Some nice grips there along the handle. Both actually look pretty good. And then lastly, you do have his hose, which either end, it doesn't matter which side you use on the gun or the pack, they're identical, but it is sculpted with some ridging done in black rubber, and it is rather flexible too, so that's nice. So let's move on to the figure. And I have to admit, I think he looks really, really good. He definitely has a wonderful head sculpt with the mask and the gray paint. Beautifully sculpted. Looks very true to the 80s figure. Nice black paint along the shoulders and the shoulder pads. You do have the compressor unit on the front, along with some tool pouches. This is a vest. And one issue I did see is, if you look right there, it looks like they missed some paint. Must have been done on a Friday or something. Coming down the arms, each side has a tool pouch. This one I believe is, I believe a thermometer, but I'm not certain. And then he's got metal protective gauntlets, which are nicely painted on the inside. Sculpting is really amazing on this guy, to be honest. Two-tone orange, as you can see, with the shoulder pads and the actual sleeves and pants. I think that's neat. It breaks it up a little bit, so any kind of padding or armor are a little bit darker than the actual suit, which I think looks really good. Both sides again with the armored gauntlets, and he has pivot on both arms or both hands up and down, where usually in a lot of cases we see one that pivots in and out. His are actually both up and down, but articulation is the same. Maybe a little bit limited on the shoulder because of the pads or the pouches. Sorry, elbows. So you don't get quite as much as of an elbow bend, but you do still get the typical bicep rotation. There is an ab crunch in there, but because of the vest, it's actually difficult to utilize, but you can see it is in place. It does have waist rotation, as you would expect. It does have the drop down legs. Now, one concern I have, if you look at mine, there's actually a stress mark inside of this hip, and the drop down hip really doesn't go up all that well. This one goes up just fine, but this hip isn't functioning properly, so I'm gonna have to be really careful. But if I lightly push, it works okay. But on this leg, you can get up that far. So the hips, a little bit of a concern. On this side, you've got a holster for his extinguisher, and on this side, you've got storage for the smaller axe. Double jointed knees, as you would expect. And then the feet do have the typical up and down, side to side. Oh, there is a boot cut as well as a thigh cut, but typical up and down and pivot, as you would expect with these figures. As far as detail, here you go. Got some definite sculpting in there. I think it looks really good. I think they did a fairly decent job with this character. Now with the backpack on, like I mentioned with that peg, that is what you get as far as when his pack is on his back. Definitely sticks out quite a bit on the bottom. I don't know, I might take some heat to it, try and nestle it in a little bit more. I don't know. I am concerned it's going to break, but it does stay on really good. It doesn't want to pop off from what I've experienced. Here you can bring in your hose, and you actually get a satisfying click when it goes on. So no complaints there. And on this end, you can attach his extinguisher. And it holds really well. It can go into the holster just fine. So you can do that. And it will hold properly in his sculpted hand. You also have on the backpack storage for the axe, which it works really well with the larger axe. Just push it in to that spot, and there you go. Nice storage. And as far as this axe, you can bring it in and store it on his leg. So this is one of the characters that they do a very nice job of having placement for all of his accessories. And yeah, he looks great. Final thoughts on the character. Let's start with the bad. The stress mark on the hip and the fact that it doesn't function very well is a bit concerning, to be honest. It might be my fault. I may have done it taking out of the package or something. But just be aware that's an issue that I've experienced, and make sure that you don't break your figure with in the same way that mine has a potential to do so. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems as though as this series continues to be released, the hips seem to be having more and more issues with looseness and moving up and down properly. I thought at the beginning they were tighter, but anyhow, the positives definitely outweigh the negatives. He's an amazingly painted and sculpted figure. He is definitely true to the original, which I find to be amazing. He wasn't one of my favorites, but I did really enjoy the character. Had him as a kid. Lost him when my mom had a yard sale, and then I recently reacquired him at a local toy shop. So I'm glad that they did take a little bit of an obscure character and bring him out. But yeah, I do recommend him. Like I said, mine was shipped to me via Target. Arrived early. It wasn't supposed to come out until a couple of days, but I'm glad he's here now. Definitely looking forward to adding this to the G.I. Joe Classified shelf. Alright, if you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share with your friends. These are 3 simple steps that you can do in order to help my channel grow. And always be a positive member of the community. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.